Hello, this video is a series of tutorial for Aoi Kimono. Here we start working on the waist slit. Start knitting the total number of stitches that's stated on the pattern. I count the stitch first beforehand and put a marker on it so I don't work through the increased part. Here comes my marker, and after the marker you would work the knit front and back for 6 stitches. Knit the front loop, do not put it off the needle, and put it through the back loop, knit it through it. Knit front and back for every stitch. You will have 6 additional stitches for this part. After working the increase, the KFB for 6 stitches, count the stitch, you have total of 12 stitches for this part. Turn your work. From here we're gonna split the 12 stitch into 2 parts. 6 stitches for the front left and 6 stitches for the back part. From here you will need another needle smaller if you have one to split these stitches into 2 groups. The first stitch is for the back part, so you put the needle inside the garment. Be careful not to slip all the stitches from the needle. Count the stitch you split, 6 stitches for every side. This side is for the back part, so you will continue working it later. You can put it on a marker. Now we continue working for the front left. This stitch, put it back to the left needle. And then we work the 6 stitch edge for the slit part. With yarn in back, slip 1 as if to knit. Knit 1, purl, knit 1, purl, and knit. This is the 6th stitch of the edge stitch in 6-stitch pattern. Start working to the end of the row, purling all the stitches. Continue working as the pattern stated. So you will have a front left like this. And then let's start working on the back part. First you need to put the 6th stitch from the marker back into the needle. All stitches are ready to work from the left needle. Use a new strand of yarn to work the back part. The first 6 stitches are for the 6 stitch edges. Slip 1 as if to knit with yarn in front, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and purl. You can add a marker to mark the stockinette part and the 6 stitch part. Here's another marker, so I should work the cave B into the 6th stitch. This is where the other slit for the back part. Knit 6 KFB. Count the stitch to make sure you have 12 stitches to make the 6 stitch edges. Turn your work, and then we gonna split this 12 stitch into 2 groups, for the back part and the front right part. Use the smaller needle. The first stitch is for the back part and the second stitch is for the front right part. Here we have 6 stitch for the back part and 6 stitch for the front right part. Put the front right part at the front of the work into a marker. We'll continue working it later. the 6th stitch from the smaller needle into your working needle. If you are facing the right side of your work, put the 6 stitches back into your right needle. For the next part, we will working on the wrong side. With the yarn at the back, slip as if to knit. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and knit 1. This is the 6 stitch edges. Continue purling to a number of the stitches stated on the pattern. From here we will start working on the front right part. Put the 6th stitch on the marker back into the needle. Pick a new strand of yarn to work this part, because the last part you will already bind off. With yarn at the back of your needle, slip as if to knit the first stitch. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. This is the 6th stitch edges for the waist slit. Continue knitting the front right part. Keep knitting to the end of the row and turn your work. For the second row, you work purl until you have 6 stitches left on the needle. This is the 8th stitch on a 6 stitch pattern. Continue working as the pattern stated for the next part of the front right. Here you can see the back part and the front right into two different flaps. Thank you.